Dear Aquarius, have you ever heard the sound of funeral bells that do not only bid farewell to a person, but also open the doorway to a destiny? This September, Aquarius faces a turning point, a symbolic burial where the past is laid down, and from that moment, a sudden flood of money pours in like a waterfall. But at the same time, divine justice, the very thing you once trusted, may vanish, and its disappearance opens a greater question. Do you have the strength to step into a role you have never dared to imagine? In this video, I will guide you through a mysterious journey, from the funeral to the flow of money and into the sacred truth hidden behind justice. And if you are listening, leave a comment. I am ready to step into my destiny. Because that affirmation connects you with the powerful energy moving around Aquarius this September. But what lies behind the door of that funeral? What makes the disappearance of justice the greatest gift? We will begin to unravel the first step in the destined journey of Aquarius. When we speak of a funeral, most people think of loss, of endings, of a sorrow so deep it cannot be named. But through the lens of astrology, where every planet moves like a wheel of fate, the funeral carries a wider meaning. For Aquarius, this September, the funeral is not only a symbolic event, but a sacred rite, the ending of an old cycle, the burial of skins that no longer fit, so that from them a new life may be born. In astrology, endings are always tied to Saturn and Pluto. A funeral, through that lens, is not the end. It is the moment Saturn forces you to face what has grown outdated, and Pluto silently burns away illusion, so that the purest part of your soul may be reborn. A funeral is not a final closing. It is a sacred covenant. You must bury something so that something new may rise. It is the natural cycle that God has written into the stars, and Aquarius is now stepping into this chapter in September. I have spent more than 50 years studying the sky and the human soul beneath its light, and I hold one belief: in astrology, death is rarely the end of breath. It is the death of an old version, of an identity that no longer belongs. For Aquarius, this funeral is like saying goodbye to an old friend, the friend who was your yesterday self. I have met many Aquarians who fell into emptiness, feeling as if everything was lost, when a relationship ended, when a job collapsed, or when a belief that once felt like light revealed itself as only an illusion. But then, after those dark days, they discovered this truth. Within loss, a new space had opened, and in that space, light could finally enter. No seed ever sprouts without being buried in the soil. This is the human lesson that the funeral teaches us. Burial is not meaningless abandonment, but an act of love. When you bury a belief, a habit, or a relationship, you allow it to return to the earth, to become nourishment for something new to grow. As an Aquarius, you often carry great ideals, a longing to change the whole world. But to do that, you must learn the first lesson: to change yourself. And that begins with the courage to bury what is old. This September, your funeral is not out there in the world, but inside your soul, where you dare to lay down the burdens that no longer belong to you. Perhaps you have sat before a door that just closed, your trembling hands clenched tight, your eyes blurred with tears. You thought you had lost everything. But I want to tell you this: the tear you shed today is not wasted. It is a silent baptism. And when dawn comes, from the place you thought held only ashes, a living sprout will rise, proving that loss is only the soil that hides a beginning. Dear Aquarius, do not fear the funeral. It does not come to steal your light. It comes to teach you that light always finds another way to shine. I have witnessed many Aquarian souls walk out of their spiritual funerals stronger than ever before. And I learned this truth: burial is not losing, but returning. You return the past to the past. You return the old one to their own life. You return the false belief to time. And once you have returned them, your hands are finally free to receive. Perhaps you think you are not brave enough, but remember, the Aquarian soul was not born to grasp tightly, but to give away. And only when you release will you discover that God can place into your hands something infinitely more beautiful. The funeral teaches us a living truth. Death and life are not two opposite lines, but two sides of the same circle. God has written it into every season. The leaves must fall so the tree stands bare before new buds can appear. People must cry so the heart can lighten before they can truly laugh again. And you, Aquarius, must learn to say farewell in order to be reborn. On dark nights, when you hear the bells toll from afar, let your soul grow still. It is not the call of an ending, but the whisper. It is time for you to enter a new journey. And when you stand before the grave of what is past, remember this: beneath the soil, a seed is sleeping. And as you turn away, the sun has already begun to rise. Today you may feel you have lost everything, but tomorrow you will realize you have not lost. You are being prepared to receive more. Have you ever had to bury a part of your past in order to go on? A love, a belief, or a part of yourself? Leave your story in the comments, for your sharing may become the light for another lost soul. And if you feel these words carry meaning, leave a like and share this video so that the light of Aquarius may spread to many more. But after the funeral, what will come? Is it only an empty void, or is there an unexpected gift the universe is sending? Dear Aquarius, you will see. The very moment you bury the past, the flow of money will begin to pour in. And that is what we are about to unravel now. There are moments in life when we believe we have lost everything. A chapter closes, the door slams shut, and we sit in the darkness, thinking there is nothing left to wait for. But dear Aquarius, it is precisely in such moments that a paradox takes place. Money, opportunity, expansion begin to find their way to you. In astrology, the planet called Jupiter is always seen as the greatest gift the universe bestows upon humanity. It is the planet of expansion, of blessings, of doors that open unexpectedly. When Jupiter moves closer to Aquarius and activates the second house, the house of personal finance, values, and material security, the message is clear. A stream of money is flowing toward you. But this stream is not a gift without condition. It is the reward for the courage you have shown in your spiritual funeral. The funeral we spoke of in the last chapter does more than bury what is old. It opens a space. And that very space is the fertile ground where money begins to flow. A full vessel cannot receive another drop of water. Only when you dare to empty it, only when you allow it to be clear and open, can gold and silver pour in. Aquarius, you have just let go of something you thought you could never live without. And that act of release has made you empty, but not hollow. It is an emptiness filled with potential, a place where the universe can fill you with opportunities, with resources, with a prosperity that has never before appeared in your life. In more than half a century of working with natal charts, I have witnessed a repeating pattern. Many Aquarians only became truly wealthy when they finally released the one thing they thought was everything. Some left behind a job they believed was safe, and then received an opportunity 10 times better. Some walked away from a toxic relationship, and suddenly money and luck began to arrive, as if the barrier had been lifted. I believe money is never the ultimate goal for Aquarius. You were not born to count money, but to use it as an energy flow to transform society, community, humanity. But the universe cannot place such resources in your hands while your hands still clutch the past. True wealth, therefore, does not begin with saving. It begins with letting go. The world today often teaches us that money is cold numbers in a bank account or bills in a wallet. But astrology and life have taught me another truth. Money is energy. It moves, it flows, it seeks out the places where there is space to receive it. If your home is full of meaningless clutter, you have no room for a new gift. If your heart is filled with painful memories, you have no room for a healthy love. And if your life is full of ties that no longer fit, you have no room for money, opportunities, or abundance. Aquarius, look back at your life. What are you holding on to? Only out of habit? Only out of fear? When you clear that space, you are sending a signal to the universe. I am ready to receive. And the universe, in its wisdom, will respond by giving you more than you dared to hope for. There is a truth many refuse to believe. You do not need to chase money. The more you chase, the farther it runs. But when you dare to stand still, when you dare to release the old, when you dare to live true to your values, money comes to you on its own. Imagine yourself as a lighthouse. The lighthouse does not run after ships. It simply stands there shining, and the ships find their way to it. Dear Aquarius, you are the same. You do not need to strain to become someone else to earn money. You need only to stand in your place, be yourself, and let the energy you radiate call the flow of money to you. Many people think wealth comes from cleverness, from calculation. But I believe money tests the heart far more than the head. Money asks you, are you generous enough to give? Money asks you, will you dare to place it in service of the community? Money asks you, will you have the courage to release it when necessary, and trust that it will return to you multiplied? For Aquarius, this test is even clearer. Because you cannot live selfishly, you cannot live to enrich only yourself. Your soul was written to be a steward of wealth for humanity, and when you live true to that, money will come to you as a loyal companion. You may own a large house, a bank account overflowing, but if you do not know how to use it to bring meaning to life, you will still feel empty. True wealth for Aquarius is never measured in material possessions. It is measured by the times you used your money to ease a pain, to lift a life, to plant hope in a place where no light remained. When you understand this, money ceases to be a burden. It becomes a flow, a messenger, a testimony of your faith in divine justice. Do you feel unusual signals appearing lately? An investment chance? A new job? A sudden gift? That is not coincidence. That is Jupiter whispering, you are ready. Remember, you do not become wealthy by accident. It is the reward for the courage you showed when you dared to bury the past. Money does not come to cover pain. It comes to affirm that you have passed the test and that now you are strong enough to steward a portion of the universe's resources. If these words touch your journey, share this video so the light of Aquarius may spread further. And if inside you a belief is stirring, write this down. I am ready to receive the abundance meant for me. That comment is not just words, it is a prayer, a door opening for the flow of money to stream toward you. But dear Aquarius, money is only one part of the story. For when you receive it, another test awaits. The divine justice you have always trusted may vanish. The question then becomes, will you be strong enough to become justice itself when September closes? This secret will soon be revealed. There is a paradox few wish to face. When you think you have touched fairness, when you believe truth will finally be revealed, sometimes the universe falls silent. And it is in that silence that the Aquarian heart learns a costly lesson. Divine justice does not always appear in the form you expect. In astrology, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the planet of breakthrough, of the unexpected, of events no one can foresee. This September, Uranus forms a tense square with Saturn, the planet of limits, laws, and discipline. It is an image of conflict, between freedom and responsibility, between the justice you long for and the reality you are given. What does this mean? It means you may find yourself in situations that feel absurd. What you deserve does not come, and what is wrong goes unpunished. And in that collision, your heart bursts with the question, where is God? Where is justice? The justice I speak of is not the courtroom, not the laws of men. It is divine justice, the invisible balance of the universe. It is not measured by arguments, but by energy. It does not hand down judgment in a day, but quietly arranges itself across a lifetime. And in the very moment when justice disappears from your eyes, your heart will tremble. Has the universe abandoned me? But the truth is, this is only a test to teach you how to become justice for yourself. And sometimes that justice vanishes in your eyes, only to see if you have enough faith to keep walking. Because true justice is not something handed to you. It is something you create by the way you live, by the way you treat others, by the way you stand firm in the darkness. Through the years of working with thousands of charts, I have heard this question countless times. Why was I wronged, and God did not return justice to me? And I often answered with silence, because often God does not grant justice in the way we expect. He wants us to learn another lesson, to learn how to become justice for ourselves. I believe the silence of the universe is never abandonment. It is a form of testing, to make you grow, to let you know that even when justice does not arrive from outside, you can still live upright from within. Aquarius, you carry within you a mission of community. Your true strength does not lie in waiting for an unseen hand to fix what is unfair. It lies in your courage to build justice in your own community. You build justice when you dare to speak for the voiceless. You build justice when you use your talents to bring light, instead of keeping it only for yourself. You build justice when you forgive, even when you could seek revenge. That is the justice the universe needs from you. You do not need to be proven innocent. because your heart is already the proof. These words I want to send straight into your soul, because sometimes you will never receive an official verdict that you were right. But if deep within, you know you have lived with kindness, loved sincerely, stood on the side of light, then justice has already acknowledged you. That is the justice no one can take away, and no one can deny. I believe justice is like a seed planted in the ground. You cannot see it right away. You cannot dig up the soil every day to check. You must be patient. You must trust that it will grow. And one day, even after you have forgotten you planted it, a green shoot will push through, stretching toward the sun. Divine justice is the same. It comes at the time you least expect, and if it does not come, perhaps it is because the universe is entrusting you with a greater mission, to be the one who plants the seeds of justice for others. This September, Aquarius may feel disheartened when justice slips from your grasp, but see it instead as an invitation to become justice. Do not wait for someone to defend you. Stand up, not only for yourself, but for those who cannot stand for themselves. Remember, divine justice never disappears. It only changes its form. It shifts from being a gift from outside to becoming a flame from within. And that flame, if you guard it, can light the entire community around you. Close your eyes and imagine. A cord out there may turn its back on you, but in your chest, a flame still burns. That flame is honesty, righteous pride, faith in the light. As long as that flame burns, you still carry justice. And when you walk into the world with that flame, others will see it. They will be inspired. They will know that justice is not only in the law books, but in every act of kindness you live each day. Do you believe divine justice always appears in another form, even if not the way you expected? Leave a comment. For each of your sharings can open a sacred conversation among souls searching for light. And if you feel these words carry meaning, like this video and share it. Because perhaps someone out there is in despair, believing justice does not exist, and you may be the bridge to bring them back to faith. Dear Aquarius, justice may vanish from your eyes, but when it does, a new mission begins, to become justice for your community. And when you step into that role, what will happen? Will the world around you change with your steps? Let us take one more step forward to discover. On the map of the zodiac, every sign is given a mission. But when it comes to Aquarius, we speak of a destiny that belongs not only to an individual, but to all of humanity. You were born not only to live for yourself, but to become a bridge between people, to plant fairness into the world, to kindle a human flame, to give voice to those who have never dared to speak. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the planet of awakening, of revolutionary change. In the natal chart, Aquarius connects directly to the 11th house, the house of friends, community, the collective. That means you were never born to live only for yourself. Your soul carries within it the breath of community, the heartbeat of collective dreams. For Aquarius, social justice is not a slogan. It is a pulse within the blood. You see injustice, you feel pain. You witness an abandoned soul. You feel as though you yourself were wounded. It is an innate empathy, an eternal mark God has inscribed upon your being. In all my years of reading the stars, I have never seen an Aquarius born just to live a small life. I have met those who thought themselves ordinary, yet when the moment arrived, they became the voice of hundreds, even thousands of others. I believe this. Aquarius was born to become the voice of the souls who cannot speak. You speak for those forgotten. You fight for those who no longer have the strength to rise. You love for those who do not yet know how to love themselves. And within that mission, you discover the deepest meaning of your life. People often ask, what is wealth? Is it numbers in a bank account? Is it a big house, fine cars, prestige? But Aquarius, you understand better than anyone. True wealth is not in the money you keep, but in the lives you have changed. A single coin you give can feed a child. A single word you speak can save a heart ready to let go. A single act of kindness, so small in appearance, can become the spark for a soul wandering in the night. That is wealth. That is the treasure the universe has entrusted to you. One day, you will leave this world. The house you lived in will belong to someone else. The money you leave will be divided into parts. But one thing will never vanish, the justice you planted today. It will live on in the memory of humanity. Perhaps your name will never be carved on stone, But the tears you wiped away, the smiles you sowed, will continue to be told across generations. And that is immortality. I always imagine Aquarius as a special flame. It does not blaze to burn down, but glows quietly to warm. You do not need to be a hero in the eyes of the world. You only need to keep the flame of justice alive in your heart. And with that, the world already has another place to find warmth. And I believe, when many small flames gather, they become a great fire, enough to light all of humanity. Aquarius is the seed of that fire. Life is not measured by the number of years you live, but by what you leave behind. You may live 80 years, but if you keep everything only for yourself, you will leave like a shadow. Or you may live only 30 years, but in those 30 years you planted justice, you gave others faith, you used your wealth to transform society, and in that way, you have lived forever. Imagine this. One day you are no longer here, but somewhere far away someone still remembers you. Once there was an Aquarius who helped me, and because of them, I am still here today. That is the most beautiful recognition of your life. Not medals, not titles, but the silent gratitude of the souls you once touched. If you feel you are living for something greater than yourself, like this video, so I know you are here. And share this video, because perhaps you will be the bridge for another soul to rediscover their meaning. And write this comment: I am ready to live for something greater than myself. Those words will be a sacred vow you send to the universe, and also a flame for other Aquarians to see that they are not alone. Dear Aquarius, when you live for the community, when you become the voice of the silent souls, you will realize you are no longer walking alone. Somewhere, another sign awaits you. Sagittarius, your companion who carries the flame of courage, the one who will help you turn ideals into action. And that meeting will change everything. There is a secret in the star map that few notice. When air meets fire, a miracle happens. Air fans the fire to burn brighter. Fire makes air warm and visible. And in the zodiac circle, Aquarius, the air sign of intellect, ideals, and justice, always carries a deep bond with Sagittarius, the fire sign of truth, faith, and action. When these two souls meet, it is not only companionship, but a sacred communion, a shared thirst for freedom, a shared desire to illuminate humanity. In astrology, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, of higher truth. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the planet of awakening and breakthrough. When these two forces combine, a picture appears. The wisdom of Aquarius lights the flame of Sagittarius, and the fire of Sagittarius turns the ideals of Aquarius into reality. This explains why, in the most difficult times, Aquarius always needs a Sagittarius by their side. Because Aquarius can see far, can see the road ahead, but sometimes becomes trapped in the world of ideas. Sagittarius arrives, unafraid of struggle, and turns that road into real footsteps. And this union, for ages, has been the inspiration for humanity. The air of Aquarius fuels the fire of Sagittarius, and the fire of Sagittarius makes the air of Aquarius warm and alive. That is the secret. The two of you were born to complete each other's dream. In 50 years of observing the sky, I have seen many Aquarians lose their way, standing still in the land of ideals. They spoke of justice, of humanity, of great dreams. But then they collapsed, because they lacked the strength to turn dreams into action. And then a Sagittarius appeared. I believe this. In the life of every Aquarius, at least once, a Sagittarian soul is sent as a warrior. They do not come to teach theory. They come to take your hand, to pull you out of the abstract world, to place you into concrete action. And through them, your soaring ideals are brought down to earth, becoming projects, becoming real changes for society. Sagittarius teaches Aquarius a priceless lesson. There is no justice without courage. You may dream of a just world. You may ignite thousands of ideas in your mind. But if you do not act, they remain only dreams. Sagittarius steps into your life to remind you, justice cannot only be awaited. It must be lived. It must be spoken. It must be defended by courageous steps. Aquarius has a compassionate heart, but Sagittarius gives you steady feet to walk into the darkness without fear. And when these two powers unite, justice becomes reality. Close your eyes and imagine, you are standing before a bridge of light. On one side, Aquarius, ideals, intellect, justice. On the other, Sagittarius, action, courage, faith. That bridge only appears when two souls are ready to meet. And as you step toward each other, the light spreads, and all humanity is illuminated. In that moment, you understand. You are not alone in this journey. Your ideals are not mere illusions, because there is someone or some symbol ready to turn them into reality with you. In the readings of destiny, I often see Sagittarius appear like a spear. That spear is sharp, direct, without hesitation. Aquarius sometimes hesitates, wants to weigh every side, wants to find a solution that is fair to all. But Sagittarius says, take the step, shoot the arrow, trust that God will guide the way. I believe this. Without Sagittarius, many Aquarians would remain standing on the far shore of their dreams, never daring to cross. But with the presence of Sagittarius, you learn to trust action, to believe that justice does not come only from reason, but also from courage. When Aquarius and Sagittarius walk together, a miracle happens. Aquarius brings vision, Sagittarius brings the power of action. One draws the map, the other leads the army forward. And the result is not only the success of an individual, but the transformation of a community. This is a reminder to you. Cherish the Sagittarian souls in your life. They may come as a teacher, a friend, a lover, or even as a stranger who gives you a single piece of advice. But every time, they are the extended hand that turns your ideals into reality. Perhaps in the past, you encountered a Sagittarius without realizing it. They gave you encouragement at the moment you were about to collapse. They held your hand and walked you through the door you feared. And because of that moment, you became a stronger version of yourself. Dear Aquarius, take a moment to remember, has someone ever done this for you? If so, know this, it was not coincidence, it was divine arrangement. Do you believe a Sagittarian soul has once entered your life to give you strength? Share that story in the comments. For your story may become the light for another Aquarius searching for faith. And if these words have touched you, like this video, and share it with those you love. Because perhaps you will be the bridge of light that brings two souls closer together. Dear Aquarius, when Aquarius and Sagittarius unite, they create a power that nothing can stop. But your journey does not end there. For when you have connected with courage, you must face something even deeper. The final transformation, where you learn to step out of darkness to become light for all of humanity. And that moment is drawing near. Dear Aquarius, we have walked together through a path full of milestones, the funeral to bury the past, the wealth to flow in like a new spring, and justice to vanish, only so you can learn to become justice for yourself and for the community. I believe this September is not only a turning point for each Aquarius, but also a reminder. The world does not need more people who are rich, but more Aquarians who know how to use their wealth to plant justice and compassion back into the world. Remember this, you are a living witness to the truth that death is not an end, but the beginning of a new life. Thank you for walking with me until this moment. Every like, every comment, every share you give is not just a small gesture, but a way you are planting light back into the world. If this has touched your heart, write this comment, I am ready to use my wealth to plant justice. And do not forget to share this video to spread positive energy to many more souls. For our journey does not end here. Ahead, another talent will appear, a flame from Sagittarius, to guide you further along your sacred path.